Hello, I'm back after um, several absences, once for celebration, a short stream because I was recovering from COVID, and then absent last week because I was still recovering from COVID and had a cough. Still got the cough, but it's nowhere near as bad as it was last week, and now I'm back. And Chapter 23 is pretty much finished. It's got a little bit more sound work to do and a few other little things here and there. And one of the things I need to do is create the thumbnail poster image that's going to appear on YouTube once the episode goes live. Lost Fires, welcome, or should I say general animations. So yeah, it's nice to be back because I have been streaming and chatting to you guys. Just getting myself set up with. We've got iCloud open, so what I'm going to do is place characters and images and all that stuff in the way I want for the thumbnail. I missed a chance with that name. General animation sounds neat. Well, it does, but I feel like Lost Fires is a little bit more personal. So, just getting the content out, browser up. Well, again, could be messed up. Yeah, I mean, who knows what general animations could be. For a while I was releasing films under the label Bathtub Productions, and I had inquiries, serious ones, not people just poking fun at the name, asking if I did prices for bathroom fittings that I did, and of course that's not what I did at all. But the reason I came up with the name was I used to think about story ideas and plot out things in the bath, and so I'd be just laying there relaxing, plot out something, get out of the bath, write it all down, and that would be the start of some of my projects. But yeah, I didn't think that through. So yeah, Lost Fires is definitely much better than General. Crispito, welcome. Love all your work and all your behind the scenes streams. Thank you for your hard work. I have told many people about your channel. Keep it up. Well, thank you for sharing my channel with your friends. I really do appreciate that and your kind words. I'm glad you find all this interesting to watch as well. So yeah, I'm going to be working on a little bit of behind the scenes stuff for the next chapter. Now my plan is to release it on Thursday, which is of course May the 4th, Star Wars Day. I felt like that's a very appropriate day to release a chapter of Heir to the Empire. Floopy, hello and welcome. Krogan, welcome. It's been a while, hope you're feeling better. Yeah, I still got a cough, but it's nowhere near as bad as it was last week. And I thought, I felt fine, it was just a cough. I did not really want to stream coughing constantly, because I'd be coughing more than I'd be talking, and that's not pleasant for anyone. So I was working on chapter 23, I just didn't stream it. So I'm going to get started. Craig, what are you up to? I'm working on the thumbnail image for chapter 23, which is almost finished. Just got to do a little bit of sound work and a few other details here and there. And of course this is one of the things that needs to be done, is the image that will appear on YouTube. And I've been thinking about how I want this to appear, so like how I want it to look. So we're going to have card in the middle. I'm going to switch to preview because I need to be able to see things. That's the one. And we want Thrawn because he's in it. I haven't got a chance to watch your celebration video, but how was it? It was pretty fun. I would say that my video is terrible because I didn't get a lot of footage. I went with the idea it'd be fun to make a convention video, but then I ran into the problems that my phone didn't charge on Friday night. So I had 23% battery on my phone to last the entire day. Which meant I missed out on a lot of footage opportunities, and there's also an element of forgetting to do it as well because I was having so much fun. So I mean, there's a 6-minute video, which I'm glad I made it because, like I said, I did have fun, and it's nice to remember those moments. But I just kind of wish I got more footage. Never mind. That's what next time is for, I suppose. Did get to go to see the Ahsoka panel, where that was on the Saturday. So celebration was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. I did not get into the showcase panel because they did this lottery thing where you had to apply for the busiest panels, and the only one I got into was Ahsoka, which worked for me because they showed the Ahsoka trailer at the showcase, which is the one everyone's seen online. But the Ahsoka panel, they showed a different trailer, which is not going to be released online. I don't know if they'll release it on Thursday, you never know. But in the trailer that's online, when you see Thrawn walking at the back of his head, that shot shows that's been replaced, and so the front of his head. So you actually got to see his face for about 3 seconds, and he looked pretty good. Of course, it was very brief, blink and you miss it kind of thing. So I kind of wish I could see that again and maybe pause it to have a better look. But it was great being there when it happened, and the crowd went wild. And I was cosplaying Thrawn at the panel, which was had to be done really. And there was a guy sat in front, also cosplaying Thrawn. And I went with Freya, who's my friend who lives locally. She voices Winter in Heir to the Empire, and she was cosplaying Mara Jade that day. Which we made a good team. Didn't really get that many pictures together in those costumes, which shame, but never mind. But it's not the first time we've done it, so we did have some pictures from before. But yeah, I had a really great time, and it was good to be there for the live action debut of Thrawn. Did you know that today is the 32nd anniversary of Heir to the Empire? Happy Thrawn Day. I did not know that. I feel like I should have done. I'm going to have to belatedly tweet something. Actually, let me make a note of this. As soon as the stream's finished, I'm going to have to tweet and post something about it being the anniversary. Given that, you know, the series is based on the book. Right. Oh yeah. Trying to get cards. So the theme I'm going for here is card is in the middle of these two having a really bad day. So let's get a hand first. I want to tweak him a little bit. Here we go. Yeah, I can't believe I've missed that. It was the Empire Day. So yeah, I need to do something about that after the stream, because that would be unforgivable if I missed it entirely. So Floopy, yeah, thank you for reminding me. It's also the 31st anniversary of Dark Force Rising. That's also good to know, although I don't think I'm going to mark that occasion because I haven't got started on that book yet. Though I suppose I'd better start reading it at some point soon. Do you think you could ever see an army of droids controlled by such a machine intelligence that's actually a galactic threat in Star Wars? I feel like there was a story, something like that. But I can't remember. I don't remember exactly what it was. Okay, I'm just going to save this because it's important to save it. So I feel like that was there was an element of that in one of the expanded universe stories. I don't remember which one. And next we want Luke. There he is. Now he's going to be here further back. Now I'm deliberately putting him on this side because there's a little bit of symbolism here of Luke is separated from his friends and Card's the one that's got him responsible for that, and obviously Thrawn is after him. So we want him to be about there. I'm going to pose him properly in a minute, but just getting him in the right position. Have you played Jedi Survivor? I've played it for about half an hour. It obviously does have some issues because I've played the PC version. It was not as bad as I expected, but they could definitely do some work. There was an update today which I've not had a chance to try out. But it's something that I will look forward to giving a shot, because it'd be nice to play it. And for the same reason as Luke being on this side, Mara's here again, keep separating Luke from his friends, and she will be positioned more correctly, well, posed more correctly shortly. Let's go with that now for their positioning. Wait, sorry, there we go. And I don't know if this is going to make it too busy, but since it's a vital part of the excuse me, chapter, Skip Ray Blast Boats. So, and you just shrink it down. Let's do that because it's too big. Sleepy, I'm glad you picked up on that. Yes, that's exactly what I want for the thing. It looks like promo for a wrestling match. Yeah, I guess it does. I mean, I haven't seen too many wrestling match posters, but I could see where you're getting that vibe from. So let's put that there. I think we need to shrink it down a little bit more. It's too big. Yeah. Actually, a little bit more. Yeah. So we're going to have that there. Let's bring in Mars and get the final positioning correct. I'm really excited for everyone to see the chase. I mean, I spent so long trying to get this right. And I used Top Gun Maverick for inspiration with the some of the maneuvers and the way that they handled those flying sequences. I mean, obviously I didn't use real Skip Ray Blast boats like they did in the film, which, because you know they don't really exist, but if I could, I would have got, if I was making this live action and the ships really existed, I would probably have put the actors in the ships and got them flying to make it real, because I really like the way that worked out for Top Gun. Do you learn about art in your spare time? I can't say that I do. I mean, I do enjoy art, but I suspect the problem is I don't really have much spare time. One smuggler, one tactician, one ring, who will dominate? That's the unofficial tagline for this chapter now. Alright, so just gonna, so this Skip Ray wings rotate so they're in a vertical position when the ship's flying. So you can see we want that here. And now they look like Skip Ray Blast boats. But no, move the whole ship, not just part of it. That's the one. Excited to see what. Yeah, I'm excited to share it. Wade, Sleepy, I've almost finished reading Dark Force Rising up to chapter 28. Yeah, you have. I believe Dark Force Rising has 30 chapters, slightly shorter than Heir to the Empire. Have you read the Canon Thrawn trilogy by Timothy Zahn, The Ghost of Rise through the Imperial Navy? I have indeed. I haven't finished the second Canon Thrawn trilogy. I'm still in the last book. I listen to the audiobook of it while I'm working. But I got distracted by some other audiobooks, which I know is terrible, but they were so good. I need to finish the Thrawn one though. Greater J1, welcome. I feel like that's not the right position for that. It needs to... Yeah. Is that better? Actually, you know what? I think it needs to go down there. And be there. I read the Canon Thrawn trilogy years ago. I was a big fan of Rebels at the time. Understandable. I also really enjoyed Rebels, and I was at Celebration in 2016 when they announced Thrawn for it. Geek Squadron, thank you so much for the super chat there. As always, your support is most welcome and very much appreciated. I haven't seen you for a while. But yes, to answer your question, Return of the Jedi is having anniversary screenings, although unfortunately not near where I live, which is quite irritating. So I guess I get to miss out on that one. My local cinema, I checked, but they're not getting it. I don't know why. Because it is a big chain cinema, so it's not like it's a small independent one that probably wouldn't get it. They're just not. And I was a bit disappointed for that. But never mind. Quick drink of water. But yeah, Geek Squadron, it's really good to see you. I had hoped to see Timothy Zahn at Celebration, but unfortunately he did not make it over. And he's in Paris, and he did 2 conventions in France, but unfortunately after Celebration I just could not afford to go to France as well. Right, so it's posing time. Actually, you know what? Yeah. I've got some character poses which I think will work quite nicely. Just having a look through my content list. This is a good one for Mara. What games have you played recently? Jedi Survivor, only about half an hour of it, because again, not really had any chance to sit down and appreciate it. And I did try and finish Fallen Order before Jedi Survivor came out, but I didn't get very far with that either, for exactly the same reason. Matt Finish, hello and welcome. Feeling much better. For those who don't know, Matt is a very talented voice actor who voices many characters throughout the series, including Han right here. He's also, in this particular chapter, voices Lando as well. It's always good to see you here, Matt. I've listened to the Heir to the Empire audio tape. I've got up to chapter 3. I'm yet to get to chapter 3, but these fan animations have been very helpful in visualising the story. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying the audiobook and this series alongside it. Right, so I need to rotate Mara around a little bit. I'm glad to feel. I've still got a little bit of a cough, but it's otherwise I'm fine. I have to admit though, one of the good things about COVID was sleeping a lot, and I felt extremely well rested afterwards, which didn't last very long because I've got a lot of things to do. But for that extra day or so, it was nice. That's Mara. And we're going to turn ahead. Yep. That's not going quite the way I intended. Going to have a better look. Yeah, that's... Excuse me. So maybe... Yeah. Maybe I should rotate it back just a little bit. Squadron, glad I can finally be home while you're streaming. I still have a picture of him with him wearing your errors and mistakes he loves. I need to get to you. What was your preferred way? Send it to me on Twitter. If you're on Twitter, let me just... One second, let me give you a link. Sure get it right. Actually, don't send it to me on Twitter because I'm having some issues logging in. Send it to me on Instagram if you can. Let me post a link to that. There you go. If you're on Instagram, send it to me there. Otherwise, if you're not on there, post it in the comments of this video once I finish streaming, because it'll be posted on my channel automatically as a normal video, and the comments should allow you to post links. I guess YouTube wanted to stop people spamming, so that they stopped people posting links except for the person that I can, because it's my stream, but no one else can. But yeah, once this stream's finished, if you upload it somewhere, post the link in the comments, and I will find it. I'd really like to see that picture. I'll tell you what was fun on the first night as at Celebration. Got there Thursday because we wanted to be there the night before. Freya and I were sat down in the restaurant waiting for our food to come along. We had Heir to the Empire t-shirts on. Two guys came up to us. They'd recognised us. Well, I'm assuming they recognised me because Freya's face isn't really in any of this. And said that how much they've been really enjoying the series. And that made for a very exciting first night at Celebration. So if you two guys are watching this stream, again, thank you for coming up and speaking to us. It made our evening and kind of set the tone for a very good weekend. So thank you. Now, got a Luke post somewhere. Geeks wondering, I'll try to post a comment after. If it doesn't work, I'll go on through. Alright, Whichever is the most convenient for you. Those are the best two options. I don't know what the login problems I'm having with Twitter is. I tried to get through it, but it didn't. I suspect they've done something, or something's broken, and now of course there's no one left to fix it. But we won't go there because we're not here to talk about Elon Musk. But yeah, I'm very excited to see that picture. Here we go. Found the Luke poses. Or have I not? It would appear not. Huh. Or at least not the right one. Well, one of the others do. Yeah, that will do. This is an Aves pose, but I think it'll work for Luke. For this particular image, anyway. Right, let's bring it round. Bring him round. Yep. Need to move him back just a little bit. There we go. Right, so now we're going to just adjust his pose a little bit because I feel like he should be looking more towards that's right. Cancel the wheels, yay, for once I didn't miss you. No, you did not. If you came by looking for me last week, I didn't stream last week because I've managed to... Well, the one souvenir I brought back from Celebration was COVID, and last week I had a really nasty cough, which I felt fine, I just had the cough, and I didn't think that would be pleasant for anyone to listen to for an hour, so I just kind of worked on chapter 23 quietly without streaming it. But the good news is, it's pretty much finished. It's got a few sound details to work on, a couple of other bits and pieces, including this thumbnail image which I'm working on now, and then it'll be finished. And I aim to release it on Thursday for Star Wars Day, because it seemed very appropriate to do so. Right, so let's do some expressions. Right, we want let's start with Han, because he's always grumpy. Right. I'll just set. I'm glad you're looking forward to it. I am excited to release it. Yeah, it made the 4th seem like there's no better day. I mean, I could have probably, if I'd really done it, I could have got it released for Thursday last week, but I think Star Wars Day's a better day. I'm just dropping the more advanced facial profile on the characters because it gives me more options for their expressions. Yeah, just bear with me a second. I don't know how much of it is actually showing up for you. Floopy, that's alright. If you can't make it to premiere, obviously the video will be there to watch on the channel whenever you can, and I hope you do enjoy it. Okay, so we've got the characters in place. Let's do expressions. That's better. I don't know if you can see the little pop-up box. But what I just did was the more advanced animation, facial animation options for the character. and it gives me a lot more options to choose from. I feel like that's a good hand look. Which animation program did you start on? For this project, or do you mean ever? Because if you mean ever, I've got to try and remember the name of it, because it was a long time ago. I think it was called Moho back then, but now it's Anime Studio. Yeah, that's it. Originally when you began animating. Yeah, so it was Moho. It was a 2D animation package. So I just watched a lot of Star Wars fan films. I think Thrawn's going to smile because Han's angry. Thrawn is quite pleased with the situation. So yeah, I watched a lot of Star Wars fan films, and I had written Star Wars fan fiction, like not about the actual Star Wars characters, but about some roleplay characters and to flesh out the backstory and all that kind of stuff. And I was really intrigued by the idea of taking some of those stories and making movies out of them. But of course, I was 16, and as such, I could not afford a camera. Because obviously back then no one had, smartphones didn't exist, so you didn't it's not like you had a camera on your phone in your pocket everywhere you go back then. And also, there's that other element of I didn't really know anyone that would be willing to be in front of the camera, even if I had one. So, I started thinking, well, how else can I tell the stories? And I thought, well, what about animation? I had no experience with animation at all. That's a good Thrawn look. So I started looking around, and I came across, let's save it, this software called Moho, and it's 2D animation software, and they said it's very easy to learn, and it was, at least to get the basics, and you could basically draw whatever you wanted and animate it however you wanted, and it's all done through keyframing and stuff like that. So I put together it's about half an hour long Star Wars fan film based on the backstory for my character and some of my friends' roleplay characters. It is utterly terrible. You will not find, or at least I hope no one finds a copy of it online. And it is terrible because it was the first video I'd ever made. And I thought this was not the style for me. So for my next project, I came across the concept of Machinima, which is using video games to animate movies. Let's do Mara next. Because you can control the characters and make them move around, and you can capture the footage on your computer and then tell a story. So I was also really into Buffy the Vampire Slayer, so I did a sort of Buffy inspired fan series using Neverwinter Nights with a mod that made all the graphics look modern, as in not fantasy but in the modern world, not modern graphics, because obviously it's a very dated game. And I liked that because it had a tool set so you could build your own environments and you could control the characters really easily. And I was much happier with the results for that. at the time I wasn't really fully aware of copyright music issues, so I just put music in I liked, thought fit the theme. So obviously I can't put that on YouTube because it would be taken down very quickly. But I'm not necessarily opposed to anyone watching that series. I didn't have any voice actors, so I just used subtitles for all the text. But yeah, that was really how I got started with 2D animation, was Machinima. And I spent a lot of time making various projects with games, until I got to the point where the games could no longer tell the kind of stories I wanted. So I moved on to Movie Storm, which was designed by people who, from the Machinima community, who felt like the real-time animation aspect, because it's real-time because you're just capturing straight from a game. They like that, but sometimes the gameplay from the game gets in the way of making the movie. So they took the gameplay out and just made a film studio. And I spent a lot of time with that. Unfortunately, it stopped being developed. And my last big project with it was a 2-hour-long sci-fi film, part of a trilogy. Well, third of part of the trilogy, so at the end of it. And I felt like I had done absolutely everything I could possibly achieve with the software by then, because I knew they weren't going to do anything else. So that's when I came across iClone, because the two platforms had been, when I say rivals, I mean it in a friendly way. They weren't trying to tear each other to pieces. They were just similar packages. iClone was more advanced, also harder to learn. Movie Storm was more user friendly, but more limited in what it could do. So yeah, iClone 6 was just been released. I like the look of it, and I've made the switch, and now I'm here with the iClone 8. So that's my history of animation. Do you still Photoshop? I use Paint Shop Pro, but yes. No, some of these. I think Luke should have a worried expression on his face, but I feel like these are a little bit too much. Because after all, he's a Jedi and in control of his emotions. Wow, did iClone have a steep learning curve? We are sure I'm not the only person blown away by the scale of what you've done. Previous versions of iClone were very complicated, but they redesigned the interface in 6. So it's basically what you see here. And it made it a lot easier to pick up. And there were some really good excuse me. They put together a lot of tutorials to cover all the basics, and then some of the more advanced features, which were very helpful. A Real Illusion, who make iClone, yeah, they're very good at that. And I'm very thankful that they're good at that, because obviously there's quite a lot to learn about iClone, so having those guides was very helpful. There we go. I think Luke's mouth needed to be open. That should cover it. Let's have a look at the. There we go. I'm saving that. And iClone 7 and 8, more or less identical to 6 in interface, but obviously more features to learn, because they added a lot more to it. But it doesn't take that long to pick up the new features once you're familiar with the way that the software works and the general layout. Sticky Finger, I like your work. I want to make a series 2. Go for it. One of the things that I'm really keen on doing is if people are creative, I'd like to encourage that. So go and make your series. What would you like to make? Very interesting. Thanks for the backstory. Happy to share it. Master Luke, welcome. Master Luke voices Luke, and of course he's right here in the thumbnail. Cats of the Wheels. I've been involved with the Star Wars roleplay community for a long time. I don't think anyone from a group has ever truly tried to animate your stories. I think it was a fairly unique project that I had. I enjoyed hearing about your start and progression through the animation. I wondered about often wondered about that when watching your content. Well, now you know. I have some video editing experience, but learning iClone seems daunting. I wish that the technology had been this good 15 years ago when I was young and had time. There is a free version of iClone. I can't remember. It's a free trial version. I can't remember if it's 2 weeks or a month. But if you wanted to give it a try, you can download it and have a look at some of the tutorials online. You can animate something. You could probably make a video that you were pleased with from, at least get the footage rendered before the trial runs out. If you just follow the tutorials, because it's not that complicated. It looks like it when you just look at everything, but there's stuff in here I still don't know what it does. But you know, you don't have to worry about every single feature. Do you like the user wrong? I did enjoy that plot line. I don't think I would be brave enough to take on the entire series and adapt that, given how long it's taken to do one book, and there are 19 in that one. Right, one last expression. Let's see the sad ones. That's what I want. Yeah. Caught in the middle. Thoughts on the Ahsoka trailer? Looks very good. Despite the name S the Empire being dropped in it, which had a huge impact on this series, by the way. So many people started watching it. Came to the channel because of that trailer. Just have a quick drink of water. I maintain that it's not going to be a one-to-one adaptation of Heir to the Empire, and I don't think it should be either. For one thing, that's my project. No. If you think about The Winter Soldier, the film it takes concepts from the graphic novel, but it's not the same story as the graphic novel, and I think that's what they're going to do with Ahsoka and Thrawn being the big villain. Because it's set around the same time frame as Heir to the Empire, so they're obviously taking the idea of Thrawn causing problems for the New Republic as a concept, but it's not going to be the same story from the book, but there'll be very familiar elements from the book. Do you think Luke will make an appearance in Ahsoka? Probably, but I don't think it'll be a big appearance. the they have improved the is it deepfake technology from his first appearance, and we've seen some. It'll be interesting to see how they do that with Harrison Ford in Indiana Jones as well. But it's a very expensive effect to do and time consuming. So I don't think they'd want to do it a lot because they'd blow through their budget very quickly. Besides, the show is called Ahsoka, not Luke. So I think it'd be in it, just not very much. Ever see Corridor Cruise videos? They do neat CG work, or they like to recreate old films with modern tech and appreciate the hard work legends of the filmmakers past. You know, I have not, and I'm going to make a note of that because that sounds very interesting. Corridor Crew. Okay. What do you think those two Force users with orange lightsabers are going to do? Probably cause Ahsoka lots of problems. I want to see Luke and Ahsoka's first meeting, otherwise I don't think Luke belongs in the Ahsoka show. Yeah. I can see that. I feel like the show is called Ahsoka, so it is her show. And I can see there could be cause for him to be there, but not a major part of it. There we go. Sherry, hello, welcome. Watch the Bob Ross videos. Funny watching them scramble to make a painting in real time while Bob does it in half an hour. That would be fun. Alright, I'll be sure to check that out. Thank you for the recommendation. True, the only relation to the OG as the Empire looks to be that Thrawn is the big bad. It would be really great to see Ahsoka's reaction to Luke telling her that Anakin came back to the light. That would be good. I feel like at that point they've had the conversation, but it'd be nice to actually see it instead of just assume it happened. How much do you think the Rebels characters will be in the show? I think Sabine and Heir is going to be in it quite a lot. I don't know about Ezra. Obviously he's going to be in it, but I don't think he's been in it as much. I'm feeling that Balin's skull and Shin Hati, the two Dark Jedi, will be replacements for Jorah Sabaoth. Possibly. Be a rough adaptation of the Thrawn trilogy. Yeah, they'll definitely take inspiration from it, even if it's not exactly the same. Alright, so one more thing left to do. Oh, hang on. That one guy named Rami, hi there. Really enjoying the adaptation of Heir to the Empire. Do you have plans on adapting any other stories from the old EU legends? I think I should focus on finishing Heir to the Empire first. Though, once I get closer to the end, I'll start looking at what to do next. I think the logical choice would be Dark Force Rising. But I would also really much like to encourage other fan filmmakers and animators to pick up the other books and give them a try, because then I've got something to watch as a fan. I want Ben to be evil, clone us, everyone. It'd be cool not to Empire, because Richie, that's who Sabaoth was. Yeah. Although, if you're going to have Obi-Wan in any capacity, you kind of need Ewan McGregor to come back. So I guess if they put Ewan McGregor in the trailer, it'd be pretty obvious who he was. Alright, so one more thing left to do, and that is put a background in. So where's my background object? Also have to choose a background as well. I think I know what I'm going to do. Actually, yeah, I know exactly what I'm going to do. Mr. Evers, very rough then. Without Severus, the Luke Myers development, the Nogri and their connection to Leia. Well, it doesn't have to be identical. It's just the concept of excuse me. Thrawn causing problems for the New Republic and leading campaign. But since we're going to be focusing on other characters, we're going to see those other characters react to Thrawn, and obviously most of those characters did not even exist when the book was written. Thrawn's hair looks kind of round. That's because I'm using the quick mode renderer setting, so the lighting is very off here. When you see the actual image, it'll look much better. Right. What if Balin and Shin are Emperor's hands? That would be interesting. Of course, it'd be nice if there was a certain red-headed Emperor's hand making an appearance. I don't know if she will or not. I'm going to guess probably not, but of course they are very secretive. At Celebration, when the actors came out on the stage, they could basically say the names of their characters, and then they couldn't really talk about anything else. So there's obviously a lot to them that we don't know yet. But I'm looking forward to finding out in August. And I hope that when the show begins in August, people who want to learn more about who Thrawn is and Heir to the Empire and the original source material, come and find this project, and then they can see it and watch it, get impatient because I haven't finished the trilogy, and then they can go out and buy the books. It's very satisfying when people have said that to me, that they've inspired to read the books because they watched some of my videos. It's kind of the highest compliment that could be given to me. Yeah, they're consulting with Timothy Zahn. Yeah, that was nice to hear that in person. They actually talked about that at Celebration. Here we go. This picture's looking for. Which one am I going to use? That one, I believe, is the one I used. Or is it this one? Yeah, let's go with this one. There we go. Don't know if that's working quite the way I expected. Heading off. Good night, everyone. Master Luke, it is really good to see you here. I hope to release the chapter 23 on Thursday for Star Wars Day. So I hope you enjoy it. Yeah, thank you for stopping by. It's always good to see you here. There, I think it's still, it'll be in season 2. Glad. Yeah, hopefully we'll get season 2. Obviously, it's far too early for them to announce that. we probably won't hear anything about that until after the show's finished. May the 4th be with you then. May the 4th be with you too. Yeah, I'm going to go with this picture for the background. Make it a little bit bigger. Just wondering, can I read Outbound Flight after the Thrawn trilogy, or is it recommended to read Hand of Thrawn first? Read Hand of Thrawn first. So Outbound Flight's really good, but Hand of Thrawn is a better story. But yeah, you can read it before. The one you don't want to read before is Survivor's Quest, because you've got Hand of Thrawn, the 2-book series, Outbound Flight and Survivor's Quest, another 2-book series. Although it doesn't really matter which order you read those in, but do not read Survivor's Quest before Hand of Thrawn, because that takes place after the Hand of Thrawn. I hope there'll be more Thrawn merch after Ahsoka. Me too. My wallets might disagree, but yeah. What I'm really hoping for is for Lego to release a new Star Destroyer, and it be the Chimera, so you've got the design on the bottom. I will buy that. I really want a big Star Destroyer model, but I've never had the opportunity to get one. But I would make space for that. I would save up for it, do all the stuff to have the proper Lego Chimera. I'm still sad that the old EU never got to finish its lingering story of the question. It's made me aware of the Disney canon, though it didn't try Andor as a standalone story. Yeah, I mean, that made no sense at all. I mean, I get that they made the EU Legends to keep it separate from their own stuff, but their own stuff was taking a while to produce, so they could have said, well, we're going to finish the expanded universe, release those new stories as Legends, while we get our own stuff ready, and there we go. Out Lego to fix Thrawn's tank plaque. Yes, he has the wrong plaque on his current minifigure, which I do have his minifigure. I was very pleased to get one of those. But yeah, they need to correct it. Luckily, Legends still being expanded on, though minorly in the Old Republic MMO. Rank, yes, that's right. Rank Black, yes. So what we're really just Thrawn the Flamethrower. I play that game. I've played the Old Republic from time to time. It's fun, though I can't say I got really into it. It's just something I play every so often when the mood strikes. Alright, so I need to... I feel like card is a little bit too low now. So let's raise him up a little bit. Let's see... Too much. A little bit lower. Okay, so let's bring Thrawn up a tiny bit. So it looks like Han and Thrawn are looming over card. So Han next. And there. Okay. Saving. And we're done with the poster. Well, not really. I have to render it. But, excuse me. throw on the t-shirt, throw on the colouring book, throw on the lunchbox, throw on the breakfast cereal, throw on the flamethrower. Well, I would buy all of those. I've got some throw on t-shirts already. Throw on the toilet paper. Yeah, if there was throw on toilet paper, I don't know if I could bring myself to use it. I mean, I might buy some, but I wouldn't use it. Rebel Dom, how's your day going? Pretty good actually. Now, one thing I did do is I went and raided the Lego shop because they got the big Star Wars Day sale started today, and I got all the freebies. I haven't built anything yet, but I was quite pleased. Might leave some blue stains. Yeah, there's that as a side effect as well. Okay, so yeah, I finished the poster design. Or have I? Yes, I have. So what I need to do now is take it over to Omniverse to render it, or to light it correctly and render it and all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to do that on stream. But since you will see the results of this very soon, because obviously I do plan to release this chapter on Thursday. So let's catch up with the chat. Breezy's Comics and Collectibles. Hey man, hope your day is going amazing. Yeah, it's been pretty good. Went to Lego shop, bought Star Wars Lego. Did the stream. Got a lot done on chapter 23. So yeah, it's been a pretty good day. Lost Fires. Do you think Thrawn has any secret tattoos? Well, if you talk about them, they won't be secrets, so... Flip looks great. Thank you. As I said earlier, this is the quick mode render, so... This is the very basic look of it. So the hair colour's off and all that stuff. When you see the real thing, you're going to notice a big difference. Sherry, that's cool. Good. Wade, last but least, Thrawn the Doll. Me. I got a few Thrawn action figures. But yeah, if there's Thrawn merchandise, I'm going to buy as much as I can afford. I'm sure there'll be some ridiculously expensive things that I'll just have to gaze lovingly at. Pictures of them. Oh well. Yeah, hopefully get some more good Thrawn stuff though. It's about time that we had more Thrawn merchandise. So since I've got the poster layout done, I think I'm going to wrap up the stream. Been here for over an hour. Had a great time chatting with all of you. Geek Squadrons, again, thank you so much for the super chat earlier. I do appreciate that. Mr. Evers, you will not have long to wait for that. And good to see you. Let's see. Oh, so, lots of people talking. Have we seen the MOC someone made of Camino? Like it's super impressive. Can't remember the YouTuber's name. I can't say I have, but it sounds intriguing. Geeks, have you gotten the Black Series S Empire Duckles? I've got Luke, and my local comic book shop has got Mara in for me, but I haven't had a chance to go and pick it up yet. They've only just got them in, so hope to get that at the weekend. Nick T, hey man, you are a huge inspiration to me, developing my own Lego Heirs to the Empire game in Unreal as a side hobby, and was wondering what tools you use for cutscene animations or give any tips. Well, first of all, that's a very interesting sounding project, which I hope when... I'm not going just yet because I've got these questions to answer, but everyone is wishing me good night. I do appreciate that, thank you. So yeah, a Lego Heirs to the Empire game in Unreal. I hope when you finish that you will share links to it, or when you got something to show, share links to it here on the channel. I do not use Unreal, so I don't know if I have any tips to offer there. What I'm using here is iClone. Now you can use iClone and Unreal together, but I don't really know much about the process for that. But there are people out there who do, so I suggest you check out their channels. I'm sure there's lots of tutorials out there as well that would be very helpful. But I don't think I can actually excuse me, offer any more advice than that. But yeah, that's an interesting project. Rich Boy J, look him up. Very seriously built the community. Alright, I'll make a note of his. Let me get up my notepad. Rich Boy. Okay, so I've just written his name down so I can have a look. Eric, I'm so excited for future studios. I'm not big on book reading, so I love your work. Well, that's very kind of you. Excuse me again. That cough seems to be coming back, so maybe I should wrap up soon. I'm always talking. Yeah, so thank you for that. I'm glad you're enjoying my videos. I would say that despite you're not too big on book reading the books is going to be quicker than waiting for me to finish the trilogy. And there is a comic book adaptation of the Thrawn trilogy as well, if you're interested. Great chatting with everyone. May the Thrawn be with you. May the Thrawn be with you too. Hope you have a lovely sleep. May the Thrawn be with you. Yeah, so thank you all for coming. Hope to see you all on Thursday when this is released. And have a good night. And may the Thrawn be with you. Take care.